Two top stories we're monitoring this morning. A breaking scene out in Lehigh Acres where another store was the target of a robber.
And Super Bowl excitement is heating up in the frigid temperatures, 8 below zero in Minneapolis, where it's not only the game but the entertainment that's getting fans ready for Super Bowl 52. But first, let's go over to First Alert meteorologist Jason Dunning with a look at your forecast on this Groundhog Day Friday.
That's right. It seems appropriate that we drop in on the action here in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, where temperatures 11 degrees right now in that part of PA. So they're all bundled up waiting for the groundhog. That'll happen around 7:25 this morning. We've got some very spring-like weather on the way here across Southwest Florida.
Take it home, gals.
And here's a check of your forecast. We're looking at live temperatures out there this morning. We've got readings in the upper 50s. So, yeah, a bit warmer compared to this time yesterday. 53 Punta Gorda. We've got 52 degrees in Arcadia, lower 50s, a little bit deeper inland. Want to show you a closer look over our Lee County neighborhood weather stations. Not a huge range or spread in temperatures. 60 in Sanibel and mid to upper 50s over portions of Cape Coral out to Lehigh Acres. So maybe you'll need a jacket for the first little bit this morning, but it will not be for long. It really feels pretty refreshing out there this morning, and notice the warm up through the day. 12 o'clock, 74 degrees. We're going to end up close to 80 this afternoon. We'll see a little more in the way of cloud cover for the second half of the day, and the winds will not be too strong either. So if you want to head out to the beach, today will be the perfect day for that. So one of the three big things warming up here on the second day of February. We talked about that it's Groundhog Day, and we've got some more spring-like weather on the way for the weekend. And something else that I'm watching this weekend, too. To the west, there's a system that's going to be developing in the Gulf of Mexico that could have an impact on our forecast for the late part of the weekend into early next week. So I'm going to track this and break down exactly what to expect for Saturday and Super Bowl Sunday here in Southwest Florida in your First Alert forecast on the 2s.
I've been running routes too. I just want to throw this out there to Belichick. If all of your receivers go down, I'll be ready to go. So shoot me a text.
Brady to Timberlake. Touchdown jokes there from performer Justin Timberlake, who says he is ready to play if all of those Patriot receivers become unavailable.
Has to be all of them,
yeah, all
for
of
sure,
them.
for
Right.
sure. Fans of the Patriots and the Eagles are enjoying everything the bold North has to offer, and more than 130 million people will tune into Sunday's big game and the halftime show. We're going to turn now to NBC's Wendy Woolfolk, live from Minneapolis, explaining what else draws fans to watch this big game. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning, Rachel and Clay. When you walk into the Super Bowl experience, you get a taste of all things Super Bowl. You can even get a real game ball. Look how big this thing is. And then you start to think, this is so much more than just a game. It's a full-on show.
Nothing rivals this outside of an Olympics.
But this is one game on one field with more than 100 million people watching.
People say, is there a lot of stress doing? Yeah, there's a lot of stress doing the Super Bowl, but what else? If you're in TV, what else would you rather be doing on Sunday?
Super Bowl Sunday can only happen after countless hours of manpower by NBC Sports crews that no one will ever see.
By the time game day comes around, we're ready. We're ready to go. We're like the teams. We've practiced. We've rehearsed multiple times.
Also rehearsing 8 to 10 hours a day, halftime headliner Justin Timberlake.
Without giving too much away, we're doing a few things with this halftime show that they've never quite done before.
But he won't say if a special guest might join him on the super stage, possibly someone who's been with him here before.
I think the odds are good that I may have a little Can't Stop the Feeling in the show. But that's all I'm giving away.
Guests will just have to watch and see.
Okay, let's talk about how much it's going to cost if you want to see this show in person. According to StubHub, a ticket reseller, their most expensive ticket sold so far, $27,000. Of course, that's a suite, so you definitely get food and beverages. They also say if you are still planning to come to the Super Bowl, you're going to have to expect to shell out at least $3 grand. Or you can always watch it free on NBC. Live in Minneapolis, I'm Wendy Woolfolk. Back to you.
All right, Wendy, reporting to us live there from the Super Bowl. Wendy, thank you. We want to get this. People reacting to news right now out of Canada.
Yeah, there are changes to the national anthem.
A lot of people up early, Rachel and Clay, talking about this. One tweet I want to show you, one woman saying, "Thank you, Canada." A lot of people reacting to this. This has been very passionate since 2006 when they introduced this change, and this just happening last night, and people reacting on Twitter overnight. Now, the line in question, "In all thy sons command," that sons is now changed to the word us, so it will be sung, "In all of us command." The national anthem created in 1980. Again, people passionate about this change have been pushing for it since 2016, and people are up early this morning on Twitter responding.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Taking a look at the roads right now in Lee County, and we're looking pretty good to start off your Friday morning commute. No delays at this time, over a minute. If you do run into any, it's probably because you're waiting at a light. Let's take a look outside to look at the interstate. This is at mile marker 125. It's an area that we usually see congestion, but at this time, traffic moving just fine. That's your NBC2 traffic alert.
Breaking this morning, another Lee County store has been robbed. This is now the 6th store that has been robbed in just over a week.
Yeah, the other stores were all convenience stores. We'll show you here, like a racetrack or 7-Eleven. This time, deputies were on the scene of a 24-hour Walgreens on Homestead Road near Leland Heights and Lehigh Acres.
And that's where we find NBC2's Jesse Pagan. He's been covering this scene all morning for us. Jesse, what's the latest?
Yeah, Rachel, Clay, since we last talked over the past hour, I'm working to find out how the investigation is going. Those detectives and deputies that were here, they are now gone. I want to take you right to some video right now and give you a look at what exactly this all looked like just a few hours ago. Those detectives and deputies were here for about 2 to 3 hours this morning. Take a look. Our crews got here around 3 this morning to find the scene. Several deputies in the parking lot of the Walgreens on Homestead Road, yellow tape blocking the entrances. Deputies confirmed this is another robbery. This is the 6th in Lee County involving a store overnight. Our cameras rolled as detectives talked with the employees inside at the time of the robbery, looking for clues as to who is responsible. Now, again, given that this is the 6th robbery in Lee County at similar places overnight, at drugstores or now a pharmacy in this case, we're working to find out if they're all related in any way and if the robbers might be the same ones. As soon as we find out any of that, we'll pass that along to you. We're live in Lehigh Acres this morning. I'm Jesse Pagan, NBC2.
And some breaking news right now also in Lehigh Acres. NBC2 News today was on the scene in Lehigh where a car was found totally charred in a driveway. We have some video to show you outside our NBC2 Live News tracker at 50th Street Southwest. When we got there, we saw crime scene tape around that burned car, and the house was even damaged a little bit as well. We're working still to find out what happened there and if anyone was hurt.
The suspect who ran away from Fort Myers police is set to see a judge this afternoon. You got a push alert about it. We told you about this on the air when the story first broke on Thursday morning. Police say they noticed a suspicious vehicle in a parking lot on Hendry Street in downtown Fort Myers. When they tried to talk to Michael Duke Jr., they say he ran, leading to a major search. They found and arrested him shortly afterwards. Police tell us they do not resort to the downtown cameras in this case, but the tool is always at their fingertips. It's a city investment with mixed reviews.
I just don't like the thought of like Big Brother following me everywhere I go, you know, but it's a sign of the times.
Fort Myers police tell us they can use the cameras after an incident to review or look for additional evidence.
An NBC2 News alert now. The Arizona House kicked out a Republican representative. Don Shooter is the first state lawmaker to be expelled since the #MeToo movement emerged last year. This comes after a lengthy pattern of sexual misconduct. His seat was immediately declared vacant and will be filled by another Republican. The GOP committee members in his district will nominate 3 people for the post before district officials make the final choice.
Breaking news this morning, police say a minivan crashed into downtown Shanghai and they believe it to be an accident and not an attack. They say the driver was smoking while transporting gas tanks through the heart of the Chinese financial hub. 18 people were hurt.
And a fiery test before a rocket takes off.
But first, a million eyes on the small screen, all to catch big sporting events.
.612. Hope you're having a nice start to your Friday morning. Here's a view from downtown Fort Myers. And you can see as we look down here toward the river basin, they're getting all set up for Art Fest happening this weekend. forecast should work out really well. The only thing that we're watching here for the weekend outlook really is the chance for a shower late Sunday and early Monday. More on that here in just a moment, but we've got temperatures coming in comfortably in the upper 50s over portions of Lee County, mid-50s to the north around Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda, and we don't have any 40s this morning across southwest Florida. A sign of some warmer weather, more spring-like weather on the way. I want to take a closer look at the live Doppler radar, the only one in town. We'll focus in on Naples, North Naples, up Highway 41 to Naples Park, out toward Golden Gate. Not a drop of rain to be found, and that's the case for the entire area. You will notice a little more cloud cover out in the Gulf of Mexico, and we'll see some of these clouds stream in overhead as we go through the second part of the day. And watch this as we track temperatures through the morning, 7 a.m., upper 50s to lower 60s, so a little bit of a cool start, but it's going to be warm for most of the day. Mid-70s by 11 a.m. over portions of Lee County, places like Fort Myers up to North Fort Myers, around 79 to 80 degrees, and all across southwest Florida from Charlotte up through DeSoto County, upper 70s. We're up to 80 degrees Naples, down through Marco Islands. We've got pleasant weather this morning, warmer, milder weather this afternoon as we top out around 80 degrees. That's a few degrees above the average for this time of year. Also, want to show you the weekend outlook. Saturday looks nice and quiet. A developing area of low pressure over the northern Gulf of Mexico as we head through late Saturday and Sunday, but most of this rain will be focused in on the north central part of Florida. So here in southwest Florida, we're only going to put about a 20% chance of rain for Sunday into Monday, but there is that opportunity, perhaps even Monday morning, for a few showers coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. You'll notice the winds picking up tomorrow too, some wind gusts up to around 20 to 25 miles per hour, and a little more cloud cover as we head into the weekend. A look at next week's forecast. We don't have any major cold fronts coming in, so temperatures stay very close to 80 degrees all the way through Thursday of next week. We'll take a closer look at beach and boating conditions for today ahead in your first alert forecast on the 2s.
Traffic on NBC2 is sponsored by Storm Smart, home of the storm catcher screens. Protection you can see through.
All right, if you usually take State Road 82 westbound, mark down this time, it's about 6:14. We're seeing that those delays starting to build between Sunshine Boulevard and the Daniels Parkway Gunnery Road intersection. This yellow right here heading westbound. Those delays, according to our traffic panels, are only about a minute, but they will continue to build as we usually see that every morning. As far as delays go throughout the rest of Lee County, everything else is about a minute. If you do run into any, it's probably because of lights. You're waiting for those to change. That's your NBC2 traffic alert.
Big news on this Friday morning from the Alert Center. If you drive a Ford, listen up. In the last 17 minutes, Reuters News is reporting that there will soon be a recall of 500,000 vehicles. They're saying that this will be in regards to the brakes, specifically the brake hose. The chief of the China division of the General Administration of Ford reporting this, saying the recall will begin on February 25th and drivers will be notified by Ford. A big story we are monitoring in the Alert Center on this Friday.
There is a lot of technology powering the NFL operation. Each football is handmade and has a tiny high-tech chip that tracks every play and pass. There are also chips embedded in the players' shoulder pads, gathering information that powers next-gen stats during the game. That data is able to reach fans and coaches in under 3 seconds, helping coaches make key decisions faster. Technology on the field isn't the only thing tech fans are taking advantage of.
Here in Southwest Florida, many are planning to watch the big game at a home or at a house party, which means TVs are flying off the shelves.
NBC2's Megan Bragg joins us in studio with why so many are rushing to the store before it's too late. Good morning, Megan.
Well, good morning, guys. The hot ticket item people are trying to get right before the big game is those big 4K flat screens. This is the newest television on the market, and stores tell us you won't have to travel all the way to Minnesota because you're going to feel like you're right at the game.
Ask anyone who they're cheering for this Super Bowl, and you most likely won't get the same answer.
I definitely want to see the Eagles get it.
Patriots.
I'm over New England, yeah. Let's go Philly.
The Eagles.
But two things everyone can agree on are anchor Nate Foy is freezing in Minnesota.
Prayers to him.
It's too cold up there.
And everyone not there to see the game in person will be watching it on TV.
Maybe a little curve 4K too.
Yeah, we're going to have a party.
This is currently the largest flat panel TV that we display.
Sales manager at Bill Smith Electronics and Appliances has seen a boost of people trying to snag the best TVs before the big game and before the Winter Olympics in just 1 week.
During major sporting events, we do see an increase in TV shoppers out in the market.
More than 111 million viewers tuned in for last year's Super Bowl. Many are now walking into stores to upgrade their TVs to these 4K flat screens with ultra high definition.
It gives you the effect that you're actually at the game. The picture quality is so clear, you feel that you're at the event.
The latest, greatest flat screen TVs can be more than 80 inches diagonally with the highest resolution that can be reproduced.
That's the way that technology is going over. Everything will eventually be 4K.
Now, if you haven't picked up a TV, there's still time. Bill Smith Electronics and Appliances does deliver on the same day, so you could even get one on Sunday. In the studio, Megan Bragg, NBC2.
Megan, thank you. And we have a live look right now of where our reporter Nate Foy is right now. This is inside the Super Bowl experience in Minneapolis, inside the key word there, where fans can get a chance to see what it's like to be on the field. You'll hear from Nate in our next half hour. And as I mentioned, good thing to be inside today. It's once again below zero there in the Twin Cities.
Let's bring in meteorologist Matt Gray. And how does this Super Bowl fare to Super Bowls in the past? Because, I mean, you get places like Tampa and other warm climates. So this is a pretty cold location.
Yeah, cold weather Super Bowls, even inside domes, are usually the exception. Normally it's places like Miami or in Los Angeles.
San Diego or something.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool places. By cool, I mean nice and sunny weather during the month of February. And what we're seeing is, well, usually in places like Florida, it would be in the 50s as we're waking up, and it is well below zero in Minneapolis, expected to be the coolest spot in the country for a long time here through the weekend as well. In fact, they're even looking at getting some snow tomorrow with a high of only 16, a low around 0, so a little bit warmer. But look at that, Super Sunday, highs only in the single digits, but at least they're going to leave that snow behind. Now, compared to other Super Bowls, well, look at this. 16 degrees in the dome, 26 in the dome. Notice this, though, not even close to the temperatures that we just showed you. And kickoff for Super Bowl right about 6:30 Eastern time, talking about being right around 1 below, and that's not even factoring in the wind chill. So good thing they're in a dome, but this will likely end up being, by temperature-wise, the coolest Super Bowl ever.
All right, Matt, thank you for that. 6:19. 2 Collier County deputies want to share the lesson of how they saved a man who was overdosing on opioids.
I've never heard that before. Never seen this before. He opened his eyes. The ambulance is coming, bro. His eyes are open now.
That was the 911 call that deputies responded to last week. The man was overdosing in a Naples parking lot. 115 Americans die every day from opioid-related drug overdoses like prescription pain pills and heroin. EMS was able to use Narcan to revive that man, and deputies want everyone to know that they should always call 911 when you need help, even if drugs are involved.
New video to show you of NASA conducting a hot fire test of a new engine. This happened in Mississippi. It was the second test for the RS-25 engine in the past few weeks. Lasting about 6 minutes, this marks the completion of the flight certification for all 4 of the new engine flight controllers needed for the second flight of NASA's SLS rocket.
Getting new information here in the Alert Center about iPhone sales. A lot of people talking about sales being down, but Apple making record profits here. Sky News right now reporting that fewer phones are being sold, but the record numbers are coming into Apple. That new phone that runs about $1,000 certainly helping surge holiday sales, but some are concerned that sales will be down this quarter and not meet expectations.
6:21 now, when the Olympic cross-country skiers from the United States take to the starting line in Pyeongchang in a week, they'll be decked out in a secret weapon. Skin tight, athletes will wear a new high-tech racing suit. It's lighter and faster than anything we have seen before. It weighs only 7 ounces. It's like it's painted on. And remember, NBC2 is your home for the 2018 Winter Olympics. We have live coverage of the games every day on NBC2 News Today at 6 and in our 6 o'clock nighttime show.
We are all wearing red today for National Go Red Day, and you can get involved in heart health. Heart disease and stroke are the nation's #1 and #3 killers. The American Heart Association is hosting the Estero Heart Walk to promote healthy lifestyles in our community. I'm honored to serve as the MC, and I hope you'll join us. The walk is one of 2,000 going on across the country. So this one is Saturday, February 17th. It's at the Estero Park and Rec Center. Program starts at 8:30 a.m. Just go to our website under news links. You can find out more information there, and you can sign up as well.
Love getting the word out, and love seeing everybody right now in our newsroom.
Our newsroom is a sea of red. So we hope if you haven't gotten dressed for the day, you'll wear something red too to support that.
Maybe a light red sweater maybe this morning, just light because we've warmed up.
Very light, and you won't need it for long. Because temperatures will warm up nicely today, and the weekend forecast looking good for that walk as well. 64 degrees as we look there live from Naples Grand Beach Resort. Still a lot of moonlight trying to make it through a little canopy of clouds. We will see a little more in the way of cloud cover today. That's one change you'll notice. 64 degrees in Naples, temperatures warmer than average. But for other parts of Southwest Florida, we have made it down into the 50s, like Cape Coral, North Fort Myers around 58 to 56 degrees. And good morning, Lehigh Acres, we are coming in at 56. So a little cool out there this morning, but we're going to be looking good here for that morning jog or heading out for a walk, taking the dog out. My friend Chef here is looking at that forecast with a lot of curiosity here. 8 o'clock, 59 degrees, 67 by 9 a.m. So you can see a pretty quick warm up as we head through the day today, and very spring-like weather for the second day of February. Groundhog Day up to 80 degrees. The average high for this time of year around 76. We're going to be running about 4 degrees above the average, and humidity levels are going to be nice and low and comfortable. That dew point coming in around 57 degrees, so it's going to feel quite refreshing, especially for the afternoon today. Beach and boating weather also looks good. You can check that off too. Winds will only be coming in out of the northwest around 5 to 10 knots. Seas 1 to 2 feet. Inland waters a light chop. That Gulf temperature there at Fort Myers Beach, pretty chilly though at 63. We will be tracking a front, a very weak front moving in tonight, but it's going to come through without much fanfare. It will help to pick up the winds a little bit on Saturday. And notice how we do get a little bit cooler from today through Saturday. A high of 74 tomorrow afternoon with a little more cloud cover this weekend. But by Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, we're right back up to around 80 degrees. So it looks like overall pretty nice looking weekend forecast, just a slight chance of rain late Sunday. I've got details on what you need to know as you're heading out the door for this Friday and your first alert forecast on the Tuesday ahead at 6:30.
Traffic on NBC2 is sponsored by Storm Smart, home of the storm catcher screens. Protection you can see through.
Lee County, we have some slower moving traffic eastbound on Palm Beach Boulevard, heading eastbound between Ortiz Avenue and I-75. Those delays around 3 minutes at this time. Westbound just clearing up at just 10 seconds ago. We are still seeing slower traffic on State Road 82 heading westbound between Sunshine Boulevard and Daniels Parkway. Those delays around 2 minutes, as well as some slower traffic on Gunnery Road and Lee Boulevard in Lehigh Acres. That's your NBC2 traffic alert.
625, he is being called the Punta Gorda billionaire. But before you go to his door, knock on it, say you're a long-lost cousin or something, a bank made a mistake that made him one of the richest men in the world for a day. Earlier this month, Robert McKinley got a letter from Bank United saying he was being charged a bounced check fee. His anger turned into some happy confusion once he noticed that same statement showed he had more than $9 billion in his account. The retired Wall Street analyst turned volunteer says he fantasized of what he would do with it.
People are calling me here in Punta Gorda the Punta Gorda billionaire.
He says he knew the money was a computer error and called the bank after seeing it. The man who dreamt of driving out that Lamborghini, still though in his Kia Optima, saying it was a great ride while it lasted.
How's he bouncing checks if he has $9 million in his account?
Yeah, billion.
Yeah, right. A daring escape for a cow, causing Cape Coral traffic to swerve.
Plus, how the NFL is making fans and myself feel like we're playing in the Super Bowl. NBC2 is live from Minneapolis.
And breaking news this morning, another store robbed in Lee County. What our overnight team has learned now about this latest incident.